I graduated from UC Riverside class of 2017, so not too long ago. But I still remember when I was on my job search and I was simply applying to roles and I was sending in hundreds of applications, expecting responses back from a company when in fact I never did, especially for my dream companies like the Googles, the Facebooks, the Deloittes of the world. But I realized that, especially coming from a non-target school or non-traditional background, I realized that you have to utilize unconventional methods to get to where you are and get to where you want to be. So what I did was I utilized LinkedIn literally every single day. And that's how I actually got my jobs to work at Snap, Google, and Cisco. So I worked there for 3 years in corporate. And how I got there, I never actually applied. I just used LinkedIn. So all through different ways on LinkedIn, whether it's in regards to LinkedIn message, LinkedIn content creation, and LinkedIn personal branding, which I teach for Wansulting. And then how Wansulting started was I just have a passion for helping people. So when I was graduating from college, I didn't have a job lined up. But the thing was, I was helping everybody else get jobs. It was kind of crazy. Like Goldman Sachs rejected me twice. That's why I flew out to SLC twice, didn't get the offer, but I remember I shared my answers and questions with everybody else and they all got offers. So that's when I realized I had a passion for helping people. And that's how Consulting started when I was working at Google, which mission is to turn underdogs into winners. So helping those who come from non-target schools, non-traditional backgrounds to get into their dream careers. And so far I've done over 180 speaking engagements. I know I don't have a life. No, I'm kidding, I do. But I've done 180 speaking engagements at companies such as Google, Facebook, LinkedIn HQ, TEDx, everywhere, Samsung, a lot of different places. The crazy part about this, it's all reactive. I never reach out to people and say, hey, I want to do a workshop. It's usually people who reach out to me. But that's just how I teach LinkedIn, because the thing is, people all know about proactive recruiting or proactive reach outs, but I like to teach both ways in regards to how do you get reactively recruited where opportunities come to you instead of you always having to seek opportunities. But that's a little bit about me. Sorry if that was long. And I've been doing consulting full time for the past 7 months now. And it's been a blessing because I've been able to help thousands of job seekers land jobs, especially during COVID. What I'd say is don't be afraid to ask for help. Why I say this is because I think this happens a lot, especially with culture in regards to mindset, that you feel like you're bugging someone in regards to you asking for help or asking for a referral, recommendation, or an opportunity, when in fact you're not. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is they literally say nothing, right? I think no is even a better answer because you'll know, like, you'll be like, okay, go on to the next person. So I think that's a very important part, asking for help. Because when I was a student and I was job searching, I was having all these coffee chats and I realized at the end, I was never asking for help. They thought I had all my stuff, like everything together, right? So you have to ask for help. That's the first part. Number two, I always say rejection is redirection as long as you react to it in the right way. So why I say this is because I think what happens is when people get rejected from roles or applications or jobs, they get down on themselves, when in fact, you should uplift yourself and have one step back and 10 steps forward. So that's the second part. Thirdly, utilize LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn is the most important platform, I believe, in order for you to get a job. Reach out to people, reach out to as many people as you can. And you only need to focus on the one yes, I always call it, because you only need one person to make a difference in your life, one opportunity, one job, because that job can lead to future opportunities and for you to be successful. So I'd say those three things. Sorry if you only said one, but I said three. So I've been seeing a lot of people actually like a lot of focus in regard, like we've been getting a lot of people sign up for consulting services, which has been great. But I think it is a huge shift in regards to utilizing LinkedIn. Very, very important. I believe that everybody, like, what I say is don't apply, get referred, but apply. But let me explain real quick. So a lot more people are willing to refer you for roles because they understand the struggle that's been happening, especially with COVID. So what I've been seeing a lot is people referring other people for roles, et cetera. But the thing is that also brings into account that there's a lot of referrals now. And so what I call is the 4 tiers. For consulting, we call the 4 tiers. I'll explain really quickly because I know we don't have a lot of time. But tier 4 is applications. So people will simply apply to roles, right? So let's just say, so applying, like, right? Tier 3 is the referrals, but someone random at the company. So let's say that a software engineer refers you for a product analyst role. But the thing is, people know only about those two tiers. There's two other tiers, which is tier 2, which we call the hiring team recommendation, where someone on the actual team recommends you for a role. Let's say a product analyst refers you and it's on their team. Lastly, the actual hiring manager, which is the person who's actually hiring for the role. Let's say that's the head of product and they're hiring for a product analyst. The thing is, people are only in tier 3 and tier 4, and they don't know about tier 1 and tier 2. So what we've been teaching is how do you get into tier 1 and tier 2? And that's why I've seen a lot of people reaching out to hiring managers now and hiring team members, because that's more important, because that will get you the job. Because, for example, tier 4, Facebook product analyst, how many people apply? 1,000. How many people get referred? 50, let's say 50. But how many people get recommended by a hiring team member? 2. Hiring manager? 1. How many roles are there? 1. If you were a recruiter, hiring manager, what would you look at first? That is what's happening right now in the job search trend. And that's what we call it the 4 tiers of consulting and the 4 tiers of the recruiting cycle. It's crazy. Like, I used to take days on end to make LinkedIn content. Honestly, all my LinkedIn posts probably take about 10, 15 minutes now to make, which is super quick because it's so natural. What I try to do, and for all the LinkedIn content creators, like, I think a lot of people sometimes just post just to post, like just post random things, like happy to announce posts. Um, that's actually a way you can identify hiring managers, by the way, the happy to announce post. But the thing is, whenever you are making content, you should always provide value. So what I try to do is I will share a story, but I'll provide value and takeaways that I've learned that people can utilize right away. I think that's very important because the resources that you can provide to someone could make a difference of them getting a job or not. So whenever I'm making LinkedIn content, I think about, okay, what have I not talked about this week that would be valuable to my audience, which is mostly new grads, job seekers, etc. And how could I provide it? So like today I posted something in regards to coffee chats. And I just took screenshots of my coffee chat from 3 years ago. I also try to put the dates and I like be super transparent. I also tag people that I've helped because I realize a lot of people say, hey, I got my client a job, but they never tag who it is. So I tag each of my clients who get jobs because I want people to reach out to them and be like, yo, how'd you do it? You know, I think it's very important to share knowledge because that'll ultimately help each person get into their career and it'll make a difference and help, as we say, underdogs turn into winners. I think underdog underdog stories relate really well to my audience, and I try to segment my kind of content. So what I'll do is, number one, I'll tell stories in regards to my stories and how it's relatable to others. Number two, I'll do it based off one of Consulting's services. So for example, like a resume, a LinkedIn strategies, interview prep, job opportunities, etc. I'll do something based off that. And then number three, I'll do something in regards to either shouting out a job seeker so recruiters can reach out to them, or shouting out clients that got jobs from Consulting or client or community members. So I'll usually segment it into those three parts because I think those are the most valuable. But yeah, I just don't. I always stress this. I don't post just to post. I will post if I have something valuable to say, which is very important to audience and everybody. Because I've seen a lot, and there's another job search trend, a lot of people posting on LinkedIn like every day. And sometimes people get stressed because they're like, oh my God, I have to post today. You don't have to post. Always remember that.